who works full time. You know, he's depressed.
Yeah.
He used to be an alcoholic. He drank a lot. He stopped drinking. His father left when he was very young. He doesn't remember his father. He said he doesn't remember his father.
Right.
His mother told him his father went back to
Guatemala.
Yeah. And he has a sister, and she says she's not depressed, but she's always appeared to be depressed. She doesn't take any medicine, but the mother take an antidepressant.
Mm-hmm. Occasionally, like off and on, at various times.
Right.
Okay.
So it says his diagnosis is chronic and severe MDD.
Right.
Poor sleeping, concentration problems, sadness, and suicidal ideation. Family history of mood disorders. Since gaining sobriety, has noticed increase in depressive symptoms, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so I kind of have an overall, let me preface with this.
Sure.
Okay.
When someone stops drinking alcohol or stops using drugs, whatever it is, their dopamine levels are going to crash.
Okay.
Because they're not producing the dopamine that they did while they were using, which is why they continue to use. That's going to contribute to some of his depression, or those feelings.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm just saying that it's only being 2 months or something like that. They quit drinking.
Well, it takes a whole year, doesn't it, to your whole body to
kind of read.
It's going to be, yeah.
Right. So, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we're aware of it.
Okay. So with the first question, that would make sense. It says if you had a choice between Justin being prescribed Lexapro and Wellbutrin, which would you choose? And I had said Wellbutrin.
Wellbutrin?
Wellbutrin. Yes.
And
I said that because it also, that affects dopamine and norepinephrine instead of the Lexapro. Lexapro is a SSRI.
Right.
So, and also the Lexapro interferes with sleep. It causes insomnia, which he already has.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would make it worse.
Sorry.
If he took the Lexapro, I think that would make him worse as far as insomnia.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And I know in our book they said that the SSR and the second generation and third generation antidepressants are similar as far as effectiveness and side effects. Side effects can be different, but the intensity is about the same, they said. So the only difference I saw was the insomnia that the Lexapro caused, that he already has.
Lexapro, serotonin, controls your sleep patterns.
Right.
So with serotonin, it can give you sleep. However, and Wellbutrin actually, when used by people who don't need it, is a stimulant.
Right.
But with the bupropion or the Wellbutrin, it's an NDRI, right, instead of an SSRI.
Mm-hmm.
So it works on a different level. It's your norepinephrine and dopamine as opposed to serotonin. If it were up to me, I would have him take both. I would have him take the Lexapro at night, and I would have him take the Wellbutrin in the morning. Because they work on different levels. One works on serotonin, one works on norepinephrine and dopamine. If I had to pick one, I would pick the Wellbutrin.
You
One
can
over
take
the other.
both.
Yeah, you can take both.
Okay.
Because
Both
there's
at
different
the
levels.
same time.
Like, people with depression, so there's 3 levels. There's serotonin at the bottom, and there's norepinephrine in the middle, and then there's dopamine at the top.
Mm.
That's part of the trying out of medications, is to figure out which levels need to be addressed.
Oh.
So you can take an SSRI and an NDRI because you need to say you need all of your levels addressed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's my thought.
No, yeah, no, that you explain it that way. I'm thinking like, I didn't think of you can have both together.
Because if he took Lexapro at night, it would help him sleep with
Right.
a sleep cycle. And then
So it does not.
Wellbutrin,
Okay, Jennifer, before you go further, so what they're saying is it doesn't cause insomnia?
it,
Because that's
it
what the
can
book
ca-
said.
it can.
So if he's already has insomnia, would it cause him to? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, he's going to have insomnia either way. I mean, it may fix it, it may not, but we're trying to address his depression itself can cause insomnia, right? So we're trying to address
Depression.
the cause and not the symptoms, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Insomnia cause depression, vice versa.
It can,
'Cause yeah.
because that's when your serotonin is created. Is in
Right.
your
Right, because if the depression can be addressed, maybe that would take care of the insomnia. You'll be able to sleep better.
Right, because I'm thinking with the family history, I'm assuming it's not because of the insomnia.
okay.
Right.
No, I
Because
was just
the
thinking
manage-
that because he already had insomnia, that it was made it worse.
Right.
Since that's
And-
what the side effects said. I mean, and I guess I don't know anything about those meds, so I just saw that he was already has that state. And so if you take some more that causes it, would it make it worse? But you're saying that it will make him sleep.
It should. Because it should level his serotonin levels enough to cause him to go into a sleep cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So then
Now,
why would they say it causes insomnia? I'm just confused.
For people that don't have issues with sleep,
It could be
it
combination.
can be, you can have any side effect to any medication, really. They just have to stay on. It doesn't mean it happens.
Right.
Yeah, that longer than half the other commercial.
Right.
Oh,
You won't go to sleep, but you might not wake up.
Okay, so then the question is, why would you choose the Wellbutrin? Because I said, because we have to put in there why we're choosing that.
For me, what I wrote down though, I said I would choose the Lexapro, because I was looking at because in one of the videos that we saw, it says that this when there's depression, that means their serotonin level is low, and so to raise that up, you use the SSRI, and Lexapro is SSRI. So that's why I kind of picked that. But now that you guys are talking about, Jennifer has said about being able to combine both of them, so it's making me have a second thought. Like, okay, that makes sense. You want to be able to sleep at night, so kind of trying out the because I read somewhere where the Wellbutrin is aminoketone is for it works for depression as well as for people that want to stop smoking. So
Yeah.
I kind of thought the Lexapro will work better for him, so.
I haven't read.
Norepinephrine also. Go ahead, Elisa.
I was just gonna say I hadn't ever read that it could be a combination of like serotonin and the N1.
Norepinephrine and
Yep,
dopamine.
norepinephrine.
Yeah, I
And
know,
then
I know
dopamine.
you can combine medication.
Right, so they hit both of them.
And people start with serotonin and then go to
And then they
norepinephrine.
work up.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But here's the other side really quick. If he has bipolar 2 with hypomania,
Right.
giving him Lexapro is going to cause him to go into mania. Because he has to be on a mood stimulator or stabilizer, not a stimulator.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay.
So you'd want to rule that disorder out for
So
sure.
you want to rule out.
That's number 2. I would want to rule out bipolar 2 with hypomania.
Right.
And then I would do both, but that's just me.
I like it. It's outside the box. I didn't even know that was an option.
You can combine all sorts of things.
Well, and then I know some of my clients that I had during internship would be given an SSRI that would have insomnia as an issue. And so then the doctor would then also give them some type of sleep aid for the night.
Right.
So just being able to kind of work with, if this is working for you, let's also just take care of these as well.
Well, and if it gives you that, they can take it and they can take both in the morning.
Yeah.
And by the time the serotonin levels, it will put him into a cycle. So he can, if he takes it at night and gets insomnia, he can take it in the morning with the Wellbutrin, and it will cause him to go into that cycle. It should.
Okay.
Cause him to go into which cycle?
A sleep cycle.
Sleep cycle. Okay.
All right.
This is the perks of working with psychiatrists.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I've personally done my own research because I have anxiety.
Okay.
I've done a lot of research on a lot of medications. So I actually know a lot about this stuff. And then working with psychiatrists, like, it's been such a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super
But
cool.
in the question, you said that if we were to choose between, can we choose one or can we say? I know we can write both, but if we were to choose between one of the two, which one would be better? Like, because that's what this question is asking us to choose one.
I would choose Wellbutrin.
And that's what I chose to.
In the morning.
So my one question is that. Sorry.
What for PM?
What?
So that means, sorry, Alisa, that means you won't get anything in the PM, just get Wellbutrin in the morning?
That's what I would do. If we had to pick one, I would do Wellbutrin in the morning because it can be a stimulant.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Alyssa?
I was just looking at it in our handy dandy little book that makes me think I know a little bit. And the only thing that like really made me concerned with the Wellbutrin, that one, was the effects that it could have if you were to have alcohol with it, and that there has been alcohol use.
And he already has alcohol issues.
So, right. So, I mean, not that that's like, you can't have this, but it would definitely be something I would hope that the psychiatrist or the prescribing profession would have a conversation about.
Yeah, you'd have to have that conversation.
Yeah. And then hopefully that could also be a part of like counseling on the other side of starting to work through that.
Right.
But yeah.
But it said here that he had been drinking to self-medicate.
Right.
If he feels like it's being eased, he's not going to have that feeling of needing to self-medicate. That makes sense.
For
and
sure.
He had stopped for a while, so you know.
I mean, relapse is always always there, but we can't assume that he will. I mean, try to give them the benefit of the doubt.
We have to meet him where he's at right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is a perfect lead into number 2. What did you guys think?
Bipolar 2.
Okay.
That's a rule out, okay. So could there be a second diagnosis?
And I thought about alcohol withdrawal.
I do, but and I think like, seizure, shaking, things like that.
I guess the only thing that I thought, and I just thought, I said rule out alcohol.
Right, yeah.
Withdrawal.
No, because I looked at the same thing.
Right.
And I thought about, I mean, that could be for number 3, where he hasn't seen his dad for so long. Kind of an abandonment issue. Is there no diagnosis for that?
So I was actually going to say for number so for number 2, I was actually wanting to rule out PTSD. And
childhood trauma and stuff.
Because there could be a lot of stuff if he was 3 years old that maybe he's not even aware of it affecting him now that is causing a lot of the depressive symptoms, the insomnia, the substance use, etc. So even if he doesn't have PTSD necessarily, but meets some of the tendencies, then I would say tackle that in counseling and see how much of an effect that really would have on everything in combination with the medication.
What I remember from his childhood that is probably created trauma and whatever the Yeah, I thought about that, but I didn't know how to word it. I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
The reason I came up with bipolar 2 as well as another reason, because his sister, there's not like a family history, like medical family history of PTSD, or
Right.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, I'm looking for something more, I don't know, pathological, I guess.
Well, and as you said, it would be extremely important to rule that out because of how the medications could affect him if we were to miss that diagnosis.
And I also said rule out substance medication induced depressive disorder. Let's rule it out. And, even though we don't have some of the symptoms here, but going through counseling, you may be able to find that he may have some. But just to rule it out, since he has been on drinking alcohol since he was a teenager.
Yep.
And we could be way overthinking this, and he just doesn't know a way to cope. I mean, you never know,
Right.
Yeah.
But I like the overthinking. It sounds more exciting.
Okay. So in collaborating with a psychiatrist, what specific things would you want to bring up or report to the psychiatrist?
His suicidal idealization, his sobriety, which has increased his depression,
family history,
okay, his insomnia. What else?
That's about it.
And that he has all his blood work is normal.
And
physical things, the physical results.
Did you mention that it kind of runs in the family?
Family history.
Okay.
History.
I didn't know if I heard that.
Let's see.
I'm seeing.
Let me just read through this again to make sure I'm not missing.
Yeah.
I think we got everything.
It says he had a chaotic household. I would want to know what that means. Not that I would necessarily relay that to the psychiatrist,
right?
Maybe, but I don't know what chaotic looks like for them.
For him, right? But I don't think
his dad had heavy drinking.
Shouldn't that fall under the family history? Because if he's talking about his family, he's going to talk about his relationship with his dad, talk about what it was like being in the house, talk about his relationship with...
I think about medical history.
Yeah.
I don't really think... I feel like then psychiatrists, well, they know about this stuff. They're medical doctors who prescribe psychiatric medication. They're not counselors.
Right.
That's what I learned.
They don't really
want to know about that.
What?
No, I was just asking a question. So they're not going to want to know about family history?
I mean, family history as far as like family history of depression, family history of family history of symptoms and factors, not necessarily
issues at home. Okay.
Dad moved to Guatemala. Like doctors.
For psychologist. Okay.
I like your impression of the doctor.
That's how they are. I mean,
moving on.
That's how they are. Seriously, I mean, they're great to work with when you're trying to learn from them. But they're like, I think they get frustrated because people think that they do therapy.
Yeah.
So, like, people will just tell them something, save that for your therapist. You know, not that all are that way, but I mean,
right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that was quicker by far than last week's.
I wonder too, I would want to know really fast.
Yeah.
He works in an auto parts warehouse. Like, is he working with chemicals? Antifreeze. So I don't know.
What would that affect anything?
Oh, yeah.
Could.
Yeah.
If he's getting chemicals that are soaking through his skin, it can, it can make it cause you to lose your memory. Your motor function, everything.
Are you saying you would share that with the psychiatrist? But
I would, just so he knows that it may be a medical issue, like to check for like a toxicology.
Would they have checked for that in the like regular blood exam? No, it wouldn't have come up.
They do like CBC and sometimes nutrients.
Right.
And like a regular physical. Liver function, stuff like that.
unless you have a symptom or you tell them about something's going on.
Right. They're not going to just do it.
I like it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Jennifer, I feel like every session you're just going to be like, drop the mic. Just walk away.
I feel like it's been such a blessing to work or do my internship where I've been doing it.
Yeah,
like,
it's
like
cool.
Such a wide range of, like, I never know what I'm walking into.
Where are you doing your internship?
The hospital, West Springs.
Are you?
Psychiatric hospital.
Is it psych hospital, right? Yeah, that's what I was told. I just started working at mine in May, and they told me I would learn a lot. So yeah, that's why I'm looking like, I have to start saying all of this someday soon.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean,
I've learned a little in there, so I know.
My advice to you: research this medication like crazy. Use your psych notes, because when you go into a treatment team meeting, they're going to be throwing out medications and dosages and all sorts of stuff about your caseload. And you're like, okay, I can know this and how it affects what. I mean, you can meet with somebody and they're like this the whole time, right? And you're like, well, you have a flat affect and you're really not participating, right? Whereas they could have just gotten a dose of Seroquel an hour before, and they're just tired and they can't function because they never had Seroquel before.
Yeah.
So it's really important.
I'll take that to the bank. Yeah. Wow. That's nice. Because I hear that with
lithium toxicity, all sorts of stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's way cool.
I love it.
I feel like our internship experience will just keep going.
What?
I said, I feel like our internship experience is just going to keep going, like just being a learner for years and hopefully forever being a learner, but just being in these different settings and really picking up on different parts of the counseling profession. Cool to hear.
Yeah, and I'm going to miss even weekly internship or things like this, because I feel like I learn so much. Like, everybody learns so much from each other, and I like being able to bounce ideas, back and forth about stuff. We'll just have to meet up weekly anyway.
There we go. I like it.
Well, you live in the same town as me, so
I do. So we can
have coffee weekly.
We totally could. But I need phone numbers because I'm not on Facebook. So
okay,
I got to do it the old school way.
All right, fair enough. I'll send you my phone number.
Well, I got the thing that tells me we only got 5 minutes left now. I think. Where'd it go?
I think we're done pretty much. So we finished really early today.
Any other thoughts? Any other?
I think we answered the question. So I'll get the draft to you all. Y'all can just tear it up.
All right. It's going to be awesome, D'Anthony.
Yeah, right.
We're excited. Cool. Well, thanks.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Y'all too. Good night.
Thank you so